Hi, welcome. Welcome to Mindset World. And today I want to open up, not open up, I just want to open this conversation up. And I'm going to be the one opening. So, listen, I'm opening up here. Have you ever found yourself questioning some things like, who am I? These are very profound questions. Who am I? I remember one day I was asking my parents this question. It's like, am I Kennedy? Or am I just Kennedy? Or am I just this body? Is this the best I can ever be? Is my name the best I can ever be? Or is my physique the best? Who am I? In essence, who am I? Am I a name? Am I a gender? Am I just a flesh? I remember my dad said, no, you're not just a name. But that was answering my question through elimination. He eliminated what I am not, but did tell me what I am. And in a way, that's not his place to tell me who I am. It's neither not my mother's place to tell me who I am. So who am I? And who is going to tell me who am I? And funny thing, you can't ask this question to your friends. You can't ask this question to your loved one or your partner. You can't ask this question because who are you to tell me who am I? Yeah, you see the conundrum there. Who are you to tell me who I am? I mean, I don't have the audacity to tell you who you are. Even if I feel like I know you, I know who you are. I feel like I know you. It's okay. These are two different questions. The question of who am I, and the question of I feel I know you. I feel like I know who you are. You see, when I say I feel like I know who you are, what do I mean? I can resonate with some aspects of you, but I resonate based on who I am, not based on who you are. So in a way, I'm projecting my identity on you. And because there is some sort of correlation, I kind of get the feeling I know you. And the same goes both ways. You project your identity on me, and because of some correlation between my identity and yours, you kind of feel like you know me. But do you really? Who am I? Who are you? You know, and also to make this question, let's take this question a little bit higher. Who do you think you are? You know, who do you think you are? That question can sound like an arrogant question. It can sound like a provocative question, but it's not because your thoughts, your thoughts are what makes you. But in each way, because your thoughts are one thing, your feelings are another thing, but they are not who you are. Because if they were who you were, they would never change. But then again, you are not the same. You kind of catching my drift here because there's some things that are not correlating here. Who you feel you are, who you feel you are. There's that sense of I feel I belong in this manner, and then there's that sense of I think I'm this person, and then there's that aspect of who do you think you are, and who are you essentially. Who you are is the ideal. Who you think you are is an illusion, a thought process that is in your head. So it's like you're projecting your ideas onto yourself, and you're now wearing those ideas as an identity. I think I'm an engineer, so I'm wearing the identity of an engineer. But then again, are you what you do, or are you different from what you do? Because This idea of defining oneself based on their career, to me, it's pointless because I can today be a doctor, tomorrow be a engineer, and the next day be a psychologist, and the next day be a construction worker. So the idea of founding my identity on career is null and void because it is not consistent to the that identity of not, you know, who you are is something that's not supposed to change. It's like the anchor that defines your place in life, your position in society. So if you anchor that identity on your career, are you really doing justice to who you are? And if you anchor that identity to your thoughts, I am who I think I am. Like for real. If you've read the Bible, God was asked, "Who are you?" And God said, "I am who I am." Why? I mean, he could have said, "I am who I think I am." He could have said, "I am who I feel I am." He could have said, "I am God." He could have said so many other things, but he said, "I am who I am." And I mean, like, so who are you? You've said you are who you are. So who are you? It's not like the question has been answered. It has been reflected back. Enough. The question has been converted into an answer, and the question becomes the answer. Who are you? I am who I am. So like the question is not the answer. That's counterintuitive because now what does that mean? What does it mean when you say you are who you are? What does it mean when you say you are who you think you are? What does it mean when you say you are who you feel you are? These are profound questions. And these are philosophical in the sense that our identity, some think their identity is their career, some think their identity is their heritage. I'm a Kalenjin, so that's who I am. Some think their gender is their identity. I'm a man, I'm a boy. Another person says I'm a woman, I'm a girl. And I'm like, so what? Does that define your identity? That's just a gender. What is identity in the sense? What is identity? And I'd like to make the submission as follows. In my view of things, and this, I know opinions are underrated or overrated in this sense because you can't hold me account on my opinion. It's an opinion. But this is not just an opinion. This is more of like something that is not, it's something I've observed. Let me just say like that. Not for myself, or not, I mean, not just for myself, but from many people, including animals. And the idea is you're not who you think you are. Neither are you who you feel you are. You are who your identity is founded on your principles. So let's say your principles don't take account on honesty. So now you're a liar. That's part of the bricks that build your identity. So this idea of asking, trying to find who you are, trying to hone in on your identity and converge on that conclusive, descriptive nature of saying, defining identity. It's really a profound and a broad question because now you might take this simple version and say you're your career. Okay, I'm not saying you're not. You might take the simpler version and say you're your gender. So you're nothing more than your gender. You might take the assumption that you are who you feel you are, or you are who you think you are. This idea of thoughts and emotions and feelings, to me, they are not substantial enough to define an identity. Personally, from somebody who has so many thoughts simultaneously happening at the same time, I can't anchor my identity on my thoughts because, like, so what? I think this today, I'll think this tomorrow, and I'll think this the next, the day after tomorrow. And the correlation between these thoughts are not consistent in the sense that they are not consistent on my identity in as much as my identity is the constant across all these different thoughts. I'm the one who's having the thought, so it's constant. But the nature of the thought is not constant. It is dependent on several many factors, the context, the environment, the people, all that. So like anchoring it, it's like when you say you are who you think you are, it's not different from defining your identity based on public opinion. Because think of it like this: you are born without a thought. That's my assumption. That's the pretext of this assumption. You are born without a thought, and over time, you've learned to develop thoughts through education, through conversations, through engaging with other people who have thought process, and in a way, your mind has evolved and has adopted a certain language. And in that language, your mind has adopted certain personas and certain ideas, certain perspectives. And that's what constitutes a thought process. So when you say you are who you think you are actually saying your identity is based on the thoughts that you've absorbed over your over your past, in your past. And these thoughts are not necessarily from you because the presumption here, you were born without a thought. You were born, you can't, I can't say you're born without an emotion. You had an emotion. Even as a baby, you are crying because you're feeling something. You are laughing because you're feeling something. So you had an emotion. But the thought, the thinking, is something you developed over time. And the people that helped you develop are the people whom you inherited with that process. Like, for example, you listen to English now, you are following that process. You're listening to the music in the conversation. And you're trying to understand what is it that I'm thinking that is making me speak in this manner, and what is it that I'm trying to portray in this conversation. So when you listen to this thought process completely, you get the idea of what I'm trying to put across. It goes from my mind through my mouth, through your ears into your mind. And all of a sudden, you have a new thought, you have a new idea. And now, when you come back and tell me now, because I have a new idea, I now think different of who I am. What does that mean when to your identity? Has now your identity changed? Has it evolved? I, you see, I'm going this way. Who I? What is this? What is the answer apart from the answer God gave? I am who I am, which is just turning the question into the answer. What is the best possible way to answer the question, who am I? And I'm not going to leave you like that. I'm going to give you something to think about. And the thing is this: I think, I believe, and I feel these are three different perspectives. I think, I believe, and I feel that identity is based on principles and virtue. Because I can't be a liar if my principles is not is about honesty. Because if I lie, I'll 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 crucify myself, for the lack of a better word. I'll have this guilt which will be weighing on me because I feel like I have diverged from my identity and I've started acting like somebody else. So in a way, your identity is built upon your principles. So now the question becomes, what are your principles? And I'm not going to go any further than that because that's my perspective in terms of how to define identity. Before I go any further, I'll ask you the same question. Who are you? And what is the justification of the answer, who are you? When you say, when you define yourself as a career, you say, I'm a lawyer, what justifies that identity? And what is that the only identity you have? Let me leave it at that.